Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of In Between the Stitches. As always, I'm your host, Brady Wilson, with my co-host, Chase Solschwinger.
What's up?
Well, what is up is the Mavs are up, Rangers are up again, finally, and the Stars are not up. Well, they are up, but it doesn't feel like we're up.
Right.
Definitely feels a little worse. But so the Stars and the Mavs are both, going through the playoff series, right? And it's every other day, it's brace for impact because, both of those teams are playing, and the Rangers are probably playing, on a lot of those nights. And it's kind of been funny. The Rangers feels like have been sacrificing body parts. They've sacrificed Dunning and Langford and Young to all try to push for the DFW Magic to go towards the Mavs and the Stars. And for the Stars, they're up 3-2, coming back home. Going to Colorado. The Mavs are coming back home. Going to Colorado, we've been a lot better on the road. Zach actually put something on Twitter. Are the records? I think we're 4-1 on the road and 3-4 at home. And I said, hey, it sounds like the Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like what the Rangers did. You can win that way. It's just you have to continue to win on the road. Lost last night. Was it 5-3?
Mm-hmm.
Colorado just was too much for you. And I think you have to look at this and say, well, you just got to finish the job tomorrow. Just because, I talked about this. I wanted this to go 4 or 5 and be done and move on because we just came out of a hard-hitting series against Vegas, and now you're going 6.
It should have went 4.
That's the thing.
It should have been a sweep.
They haven't even led except for last
the
game.
only
was the first
time
game
the Avalanche have even looked better than us was last night. Even in the game when the Stars lost, they have not given up a lead during the whole series.
The Stars that one loss was just an utter collapse. They didn't look better. They just looked. We just looked worse, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that for Dallas, get back to the board tomorrow and win, and just don't go 7. You don't want to go back-to-back 7-game series, especially when one of those was one that should not have gone 7, which is this one. And then you can go and face whoever you're facing in the conference finals and hopefully be refreshed. But right now, you're making it more difficult on yourself, which is unfortunate. I think that's one thing the Rangers had as an advantage was swept the Rays. Got an extra day of rest.
Yeah.
Swept the Orioles. Got an extra couple days of rest. Right? Because then that really prepared them for that 7-game slog that was the ALCS. And then the World Series was just kind of we were just better for them.
Yeah.
We were just better. Games 1 and 3 and 5 were all,
Yeah.
But still, we were the better team. But I think that for the Stars, it's just going to be get back, win Game 6, get that extra day of rest, or whatever days it would be, and then move on.
Well, we'll see because the Canucks and Oilers, they're tied at 2. I believe they play tonight.
So hopefully they keep going.
Hopefully they go to 7, and hopefully we close it out tomorrow. That would be, ideal.
An extra little bit of rest.
Yeah.
And just, not having to play a 7th game. You would be at home, but you don't have to play a 7th game. You don't want to have to push yourself to the brink again versus the team that I believe to be inferior.
Yeah.
Inferior, especially compared to Vegas. But the other DFW team yesterday that's in the playoffs brought us some joy. It was kind of like the Stars brought us down, and then the Mavs were winning, and so you kind of got brought back up. And I can't remember who was on the call last night. I think was it Mark Jackson? Somebody who was on the call last night.
Just like the national broadcast?
Yeah, TNT.
It was Ian Eagle and Grant Hill.
Grant Hill, that was who it was. Okay, I couldn't tell whose voice it was. I haven't memorized all of the basketball broadcasters yet. But Grant Hill was making a good point. Every time the Mavs start to kind of falter and the OKC builds a little momentum, a big play happens. A block, a steal, a big 3, whether it was PJs or Luka's, right? Something happens to create just to swat down the mounting momentum coming from OKC.
Yeah.
And you won pretty handily. And I think someone had said that, well, you're going to have to win 1 in OKC, so you may as well win the first one, then you get to go back home with a chance to win it and go to the conference finals, which would be huge. And I think people are going to consider it an upset. I don't think it's as big as an upset as people are saying.
No, everyone has always had that narrative of OKC is the worst number 1 seed ever. Like, no, they're not. Have you really done the research, or are you just saying that because they're a young team? Or the Mavs, I know I had the Mavs winning this series anyway because they're more experienced. OKC's a phenomenal team. They are a fantastic team.
And they're going to be a pain in the butt.
They're going to be great for the next 10 years, at least. They're going to be a great team, and they're just now getting started. So it's not like the Mavs were, the Mavs weren't favored to win the series.
No.
Thunder had the odds, which they should have. But the Mavs are playing really, really well. forcing Oklahoma City into just some struggle. You know, OKC shot the best 3-point percentage out of any NBA team the entire season at 39% a game, average wise. And the Mavs they forced them to, I think, 25% yesterday, and they are just really having a high intensity level on defense.
Well, I think for the Mavs, it should have been. We kind of feel like it should have been over yesterday.
Right. I was going to say, like, the Stars had them.
You should have won.
Mavs had them, but missed 11 free throws, and you lost by, well, really 2, because you had a foul at the last second, and they gave them 2 free throws. Down by 2, missing 11 free throws. It's just unacceptable, you know? At the end of the day, they just got to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, that's just on us. That's not on the refs. That's not on the momentum. That's not on the crowd. I mean, that's just on the Mavs. They missed free throws. You don't even have to make all 23 of them.
If you make 5 of them.
You went 12 of 23.
You make 5 more.
52% from the line.
You win.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to.
One thing OKC is
make 4 more, 3 more.
The problem with it being a weakness, and it clearly, I think I've heard people say it's been a weakness the entire season. One of the problems with that being a weakness is that people know they can foul you. And then, well, they go to the line. Cool. Let them go to the line. They're not going to make them all. They're not going to make a heavy majority as they should. So we know that, you know, it gives the other team pretty much creative influence to foul you is more because you're not worried about their free throw shooting.
Yeah. I mean, they bounced back last night. I mean, they didn't get a lot of free throws, but when they did, they made them.
Yeah.
And
Lively
made
huge
5 out of
throws.
6 or something like that. 4 to 5, 4 to 6, something like that. And look what happens when you make your free throws. You ice them.
Yeah.
You know, they're giving you points and you're making them pay. That's what you got to do. And they really had a missed opportunity, but it's okay as long as you come back. Mavs. Now, I will say this. The Mavericks do have an extra day of rest. They play Saturday.
They do.
So it's been like the Stars and Mavs have played every single night, the same night. But this time, I really don't know why. I guess just because the NBA, they just do that. Everybody has an extra day for Game 6 if it gets there. And every series except for Boston is gone there. So everybody has an extra day of rest when they travel.
Yeah, Boston's in, so.
Yeah, Boston is in the Eastern Conference Finals. They await the Knicks or the Pacers.
Just a weird teams, because I think if you were following basketball, I'd say the last time I followed it heavily was probably 3 or 4 years ago, like heavily. And that was probably when I was still playing the 2K games and I was able to learn most of the rosters. I mean, it's serious. It's how I learned the rosters, was playing the video game. And hearing the Knicks and the Pacers, I'm genuinely kind of like, what happened? I thought they sucked.
Yeah.
I remember when they were awful, both of them. But it feels like Boston's going to win whoever they face.
I mean, there's 0 excuses for Boston not to get,
to the finals.
They should win the finals, but it's not a failure if they don't win the finals. It's a failure if they don't reach the finals.
Well, they're going to consider it a failure because they've gone to the finals and they've gotten so far, and it's just kind of continuously
They'll consider
losing.
it a failure, but I think people around the NBA and just the fans won't, like if they play Denver or if they play Dallas or whoever, Oklahoma City, whoever they play, it's going to be a good team.
It's going to be whoever's better. It's going to be probably someone better than who they're going to face in the conference.
Right.
Finals.
They haven't had a tough schedule. Like, I don't know if you've seen, like, I'm not putting this on them because, you know, they can't control that, but have you seen the teams and the rosters that they've had to play? They started off playing the Heat with no Jimmy Butler. They just finished the series with no Donovan Mitchell, with no Jarrett Allen, with no Karis LeVert last game. They move on to if they play the Knicks, because the Knicks are up 3-2. Knicks don't have Julius Randle. They don't have Mitchell Robinson. They don't have OG Anunoby. They're playing a lot of beat-up teams. So if they get to the finals and they play one of Oklahoma City, Denver, Dallas, or Minnesota, as of right now, no, knock on wood, especially for Dallas' sake, everyone's healthy. So we'll see how they match up. I'm talking about for all
I know
teams,
we're knocking on the desk here.
No, and whoever it is out of the Western Conference who makes it, you want everyone to be healthy. Of course, if it is Dallas, of course you want our team to be healthy. But we'll see how if everyone stays healthy, we'll see how Boston matches up against in a 7-game series against a really, really good team, whoever it's going to be, and we'll see. But I'm not considering a failure if they don't win the finals. I'm just considering a failure if they don't make it out of the Eastern Conference. But the Mavs look good. The Stars look good. Hopefully both of them can clinch it out in Game 6.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're both hoping for is no Game 7s.
Nope.
Well,
especially if you're the Mavs, because you don't want to go back to Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
At least if you're the Stars, you lose, well, you come home.
But we haven't been good at home, so it's like I don't want to come home.
Right. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. And then we got the other team that's been kind of making people frustrated. That is the Texas Rangers. Now, it is my time to remind everybody, and I remind you of this in the dark times, that we are the reigning. And again, I cannot do it. I will show you what Paul Heyman used to do for wrestling, because I can't do as good as him, and I don't want to like scream into the mic,
Right.
but the reigning, defending
Yeah.
World Series champions, they're your Texas Rangers. And, going on, it was kind of funny because, well, if you think about it, you've lost in all the, we're on a 5-game losing streak, right? Well, if you go back, the last 6 days you've played games, you've lost 6 games, but you won the last game of the doubleheader. So that prevented it from being a longer losing streak.
Right.
And then you got swept by Colorado, which was unfortunate.
But then you look at Colorado right now;
They're blazing.
They're on an 8-game win streak. They just swept San Diego. I mean,
this is where the George Will and the Ken Burns documentary said it best. Baseball seasons operate like this. People think of it as, oh, it's too long because it's 162 games. Well, think about it like this. If you're one of those people, almost every team is going to win, unless you're just monumentally bad. They're going to win at least 54 games.
Yeah.
Okay. And every team, unless you're monumentally good, is going to lose 54 games. So the fight is over the middle 54.
Stretch, yep.
It's over those other 54 games. Who can win the majority of those? Right? And I think it's, unless you win, if you have to, the maximum you can win with losing 54 games is 108. So anything over 108 wins, you're losing less than 54 games. So you're just that good.
Yeah.
But most years, most teams are going to lose and win at least 54 games. The fight's over the other 54. So the Rockies, and again, they're not a terrible team. They just don't have any pitching.
Yeah, they're not a terrible team.
They just have zero pitching. They got some hitters, but they've got zero pitching, and the Rangers couldn't take advantage of that. It happens. I'm not stressed about it because it's May.
Well, but also, Rangers don't have any pitching. So that doesn't help.
Actually, no, our starters have been really good.
Right, but the game that I was at, where it was John Gray, who was great, and then was interesting to me because we were up. Boch brings in Yuri Rodriguez, and then Grant Anderson, or vice versa, whatever it was.
It's because you can't ride.
I understand you can't, but you want to start off the series.
I know that
on a high note,
and I've heard Chris Young talk about this. Boch manages. We talked about this last year, and clearly, whatever he did worked.
No, I'm not saying anything against Boch.
I know.
I'm trusted whenever when you bring in Grant Anderson and Yuri Rodriguez in a tie game in the 8th inning, you're questioning him a little bit. Because why not just go to Leclerc or Robertson?
What sucks is you don't have Spores. If you had Spores, that lengthens your bullpen. But I think the problem is, and people may not be realizing this, Boch manages for October.
Yeah.
Because he feels confident in the squad that we're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And so he manages, look, I can't throw Robertson and Yates every game we're up. We are going to have games where Anderson and Hernandez and Rodriguez, or the back end guys, Leclerc and Latch are kind of the middle guys right now. The back end relievers, we're going to have to rely on them eventually. There are going to be games where we're up by 1 or we're tied or down by 1, and I have to go to one of those guys because I can't pitch David Robertson and Kirby Yates 150 times.
Yeah.
I can't. I need them healthy for the playoffs. And even then, they're going to go through a stretch where they suck. You don't want to start that stretch. So not having not having Spores hurts because that gives you another guy in that middle to top end range where you feel confident. And Yeri and Hernandez and Anderson are your kind of... And what sucks is it feels like when we're in a blowout, they come in, they're lights out. When we need them to be lights out...
They're horrendous.
That's just an unfortunate pattern. I don't know how you break it. And I've seen, a lot of people that know baseball as well as me, know. A lot of people that also, like Jamie Newberg, has been like, man, Yeri and Hernandez both have nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not successful? I think Hernandez is mental. He doesn't throw over the plate. I think he's afraid to throw over the plate and get burned. And apparently they've told him, aim for the middle. Your sinker will sink. Aim for the middle. If you aim for the bottom with your sinker, it's gonna sink below that, and you're gonna walk guys. Aim for the middle, and it'll hit the corner. Yeri, I think, is just
He throws gas.
he gets hit. And I hate to say this, but in baseball there is an element of I can't explain this. It just happens. Guys just get hit, and there's no rhyme reason why. There are guys that I've seen that have nasty stuff that I'm like, man, this guy's going to be great, and they just get hit. Whether it's they're predictable, whether it's the stuff doesn't look that. I mean, maybe the TV camera makes it look good, but when you're in the box, it looks whatever.
Sure.
Right. I think Gary's problem is his fastball straight. I don't think it has much movement. I'd have to go to Fangraphs for this, but from what I've seen and what I remember, it doesn't have a ton of movement.
It's fast.
It's fast, but it's straight.
Yeah.
And so unless you can build an aura about yourself, similar to what Rob Dibble did, because I think it was Ruben Sierra. My dad's told me this story. It was in the All-Star game. I think it was Sierra. And if I'm wrong, people are going to... My dad's going to message me. You're wrong. It's this guy. One of the Rangers, I believe, hits him in the All-Star game. Was the All-Star game MVP. And they asked him, how'd you hit that fastball? And he goes, well, his fastball is good, but it's straight. It's 100, but it's straight.
Yeah.
There's no movement. It's not, I see it, I can hit it. And so... He's got a good breaking ball. He gets hit. I can't explain it. He just does. It happens. Sometimes the hitter's better than the pitcher stuff. I just can't explain it. But I think for the Rangers, it's just going to be you won last night. Great game. Two-run homers. I don't know how to say that without making it sound weird.
Two-run homers from Simeon and Garcia.
And Simeon, maybe he gets a little going here, and Garcia's been in a bit of a drought, especially for RBIs. But the whole team's been kind of in a.
Simeon's been good.
What you hope for a lineup is you want some of your guys to be hot, some of your guys to be cold, and the other guys to be kind of in the middle. But when everybody is cold, boy, it really hurts.
Yeah.
But I mean, you at least took the last one of the Guardian series. You've got the Angels coming here for a weekend series. And after that, you go to Philadelphia and you go to Minnesota. So two fairly tough teams, especially Philadelphia, especially at Citizens.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough series for you. But we're a good team. Injuries have hurt us. I mean, they have. The injury bug is biting us in the butt. Now, Langford, Young, and Dunning have all been seen resuming baseball activities. And, they're running and they're moving and they're doing things. DeGrom and Malley haven't had any word on them, so I'm taking no word as good word right now. I'm trying to think who else is injured on our team. Spores, again, no word, but he just got hurt.
Isn't Carter a little banged up, but he's okay?
Carter's got a back thing. Same thing with Bradford. Haven't heard anything on Bradford. Haven't heard anything on Carter. They haven't even placed Carter on the IL, have they?
No.
So I guess they don't hate how he looks. I don't know. It's
figured it'd be on the 7-day maybe, but
I don't know. I have no idea. It just feels like every day we're seeing a new guy. He's got stiffness. Not everyone's probably stiff and sore and got a strain or a sprain. You play through it. But and then Scherzer, and now people freaked out about this. And then and you have to read in the article on Trade Rumors what it really means. That Scherzer got placed on the 60-day. Now that doesn't mean it's 60 days from now. It's 60 days from when he got placed on the 15-day, which was opening day. So he's actually still eligible to return in 2 weeks, which they're saying is probably not going to happen. So it sounds like he's more eyeing late June, early July. People are going to start saying early June. And I don't think it was people are already trying to say that we rushed him. No, we didn't rush him. I think he was just Max Scherzer. He was operating at a good level and was eyeing a return. And he's competitive and he's aggressive and he wants to be back as soon as possible. And an issue is he's old. His body is going to start breaking down. It's inevitable that's going to happen. So I mean, I'm bracing myself for the possibility he never pitches again.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. Yeah. I mean, nerve issues are weird. You can sometimes take the cortisone, whatever it is, shot, and you can fix it or put a patch on it, or they're weird. So I don't know. Sounds like his shoulder and his back and his triceps are A-okay. They did imaging on those. So the original injury is fine now. It's that a new one has developed.
Yeah.
Oh boy, a new one.
How's Evaldi's status?
Haven't heard anything on it. I think he's still progressing towards the return of, like, literally he took 15 days. It just, I mean, hey, Lorenzen and Gray and Urania, the starters have pitched well. That's the funny part, is that we have probably the most banged up rotation in baseball. And we still have one of the better rotations in baseball statistically, because Urania and Lorenzen and Gray are really holding it down for everybody. And Heaney is, he's pitching pretty good. But then you get the other guy that pitched 2 nights ago. And people are already losing their minds. And I don't know how you feel about Jack Leiter. But I'll let you go first, because we probably can guess what my views are going to be.
I mean, I assume that you're not worried, because he's getting put in a situation where he's like, okay, you have to pitch because we don't have any other pitchers. So go out there and do your best, but we're not really judging you on this. But you would like to see in the 3 starts that he's had some improvement. Yeah. And that he is just getting shelled.
Well,
and there's just no positives out of his starts right now.
Well, one positive that I actually have seen is that guy I like that does, the grades pitcher's arms and how, the mechanics, says he has good mechanics, so maybe he won't have too many arm troubles. But look, not every guy is Steven Strasburg or, a pitcher that just comes up and is lights out. Has he been worse than I wanted? Of course, yeah. I was hoping for at least a little bit better than what he's given us, with his best start probably being the Oakland one.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that I've heard rumblings that, and this is what it bothers me, that if this was known, then why the hell did we draft him? Where it's like, well, it was kind of thought of when he was coming out of Vanderbilt that he had a good fastball, but it didn't move, and so therefore his breaking ball wouldn't fool big league hitters; they would spit on it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of seeing that with walks and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but then develop a different pitch.
Yeah.
I mean, figure something out. Like if I trust Chris Young and I trust Bruce Bochy and I trust the scouting staff that there's a reason that they drafted him. I know that John Daniels was also here, and I trust JD, but I'm not worried because it's his 3rd start. I could probably find Hall of Fame starters whose first year or 2 were probably just awful. I mean, just awful. Because that happens. You have to adjust to the big leagues, and maybe you have to make an adjustment mentally, or you have to make an adjustment mechanically, or make an adjustment to your grip, or make an adjustment here, and you figure it out. I can't tell you exactly what the problem is, but because I'm not a pitching coach.
That is fair.
But I mean, I'm not 100% like scared and worried that, oh my God, he's going to suck and he's going to be a bust. And no, give him a second to like get acclimated to the big leagues. And, I think we'll be okay. You have to give him a chance. 3 games, 3 spot starts is not really a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I'm just saying that I could probably go through and find several pitchers that have been great, fantastic, that had a bad couple first starts. It happens. I'm not worried. I mean, they said Matt Harrison was awful to start with the Rangers. So was Tommy Hunter. They both turned out pretty good, especially Matt Harrison before injuries caught up to him. So, I mean, it's just give the kid. There's a reason he was number 2 pick. Give him he's been really good in the minors this year, and I think a little bit of last year. Give him a chance to figure it out. I just worry about him mentally. Hopefully he doesn't lose his confidence. He doesn't lose anything, and he just realizes I just got to go out there and just throw and just try to figure this all out and not get
I'm sure
down.
they're discussing that with him. I mean, they know, and he knows that he's being put in a tough spot just because we don't have anyone. If we weren't hurt, he would not be pitching.
No, he would not be. And you have, I mean, you're right. We have no depth. I mean, unless you want to like go out and bring up, I haven't heard anything on Johnny Cueto since we signed him.
Yeah.
I assume he's just probably throwing at a league, or he's throwing in somewhere.
Reminds me of like when the Cowboys just signed like Martavis Bryant, and like you just don't hear anything about it
until he got cut.
Yeah, I know he's cut now, but
same. We'll see with the Rangers. I'm not worried about Leiter. In 3 years, if he's still like trudging in the minor leagues, or he's still like a fringe player, okay, then I'm okay, clearly. But I think that right now, no, I'm not going to. I'm not even going to judge him on this year, because it's easy to judge pitchers when you're trying to contend and they suck. When you're trying not to contend and they suck, you're like, well, we're not contending, so who cares?
Yeah.
But
that's a good way to put it.
And I think that's about it for the Rangers. Rest of baseball is, trying to contend viewership-wise with basketball and hockey. When those things go out, then it's, truly time for the boys of summer.
But for right now, we're all, Rangers are third right now. But
yeah, I'm not even going to, my dad's going to probably smack me for saying this, but yeah,
of course we want them to win. Of course we're watching.
I'm more inclined to watch the Mavs and Stars because of the importance of the games than I am the Rangers. I keep up with what the Rangers are doing. But also they're sucking, so it's kind of like
no. I don't think you're on the wrong side of that at all. I think everybody in the DFW fan is the same way. They're like, you know what? If I had to take 3 teams that are going right now and one had to lose, I guarantee you 100% of them would say the Rangers to lose.
Yeah, because you have so much after the season,
so much time. Rangers
to figure it out.
So much time.
Not worried. No worries here just yet. We get to August. I know that sounds really far away, but we're still hovering at 500, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
it could be worse, Chase. We could be Houston.
That is true.
Now for
good way to end the baseball segment.
Now for football, the schedule got released. Cowboys have their schedule, so we're going to go through the schedule. Come on. Things not one to work. We're going to go through the schedule here. You have it on yours? You can, because I have it on mine. I don't know if that's what you were going for.
No, just...
Week 1, September the 8th, 3:25 start, and then all these are Central Standard Time, because this is where we live, against the Browns. Tom Brady's Fox debut. I'm very interested to see what he thinks and how he analyzes the game, because Greg Olsen has done a fantastic job on Fox. And so I feel kind of bad because you can kind of hear it when he talks about it. Like, I don't think I've earned the top spot, but obviously when you sign Tom Brady, no one wants to hear Greg Olsen. Yeah. So, but I love Greg Olsen. I hope that he continues to hone his craft. He's really good at not making the view. He's very good. What makes a good, the color analyst, what makes a good, former players and analyst is being able to explain the game without making the fans sound or feel like they're dumb.
Yeah.
That's because you don't want to talk down to them and explain it to super big brain and they don't understand what you're saying and all of the football talk. But you want to, because he does a good job of doing some football talk and then explaining here's what the football talk means and how you apply it. Brady, I think, will be good at it. I just worry, will he have that smug arrogance on camera? Just because...
No, I think it'll be good.
You have the one concern I have is, well, I won 7 Super Bowls, so why can't everyone play like me? That old, because that's why players like him never really make good coaches.
Sure.
Because, well, it's I did this, I was super good. Why can't you be as good as me?
Because we are not you.
Because we are not you. There are very few people who have the mentality of Tom Brady, and I think that's what seeps Brady more into his arrogance is, I was not the most talented, but yet I made the most of everything I got.
Yep.
So why can't everybody else that's more talented than me be better than me? And it's just like, well, not everyone has Bill Belichick as their head coach and GM and good ownership at the time. The ownership has really fallen off since Brady left.
For sure.
It's really funny because it's the same owners. But we'll see how he is as an analyst. I think Belichick could be a better analyst. I think Belichick's just more, you can just tell he loves to talk football.
Yeah, if he gives, that emotion that we want Bill Belichick to show.
When he talks football, he's smiley. He's a nice guy. People have him. He's Oscar the Grouch when he's coaching because you kind of have to be that. You have to demand perfection as a coach and hope that you reach excellence, but demand perfection. I actually like that. I'm going to write that down.
It's good.
But we got the Browns. Definitely feel pretty good about that game. Myles Garrett worries me because it'll be either Tyler Guyton or Terrence Steele who's facing him. Welcome to the NFL, kid.
Yeah.
But I feel pretty confident about that game. I do.
So you're going 1-0?
Well, we can do that right now.
You want to do it?
We can, but these are not going to be our official ones.
Sure.
Our official ones are during the preseason.
Yeah, we'll see. There'll be more signings.
Because, Myles Garrett, first snap of the preseason, could tear his knee up, and, that changes everything for the Browns, right? So we always do it the week of games.
Sure.
Like the day before the first game goes off, we give our real predictions. So
let's do it.
I'll go 1-0. For you?
I'm going to go 1-0.
Saints, you got them 12 o'clock on Fox. I'm going to just, say who they're on just because I've always been... Yeah. As a broadcaster, I'm interested to see who's broadcasting the game.
2-0.
I'm saying 2-0. Week 3 is the Ravens. And these are... I need to probably preface these. Cleveland is away.
Yeah.
And now this is the year that we get 9 home games because last year was 9 away games.
Mm-hmm.
It alternates because these stupid buttholes in charge decided to make a uneven, odd number schedule that just bothers the crap out of me. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's not okay. I hate I don't like, I am the person. It's one of my weird little quirks. Like I am somebody who, my TV is always on an even volume.
Okay.
I've been that way since, I don't like odd, I've never really liked the odd numbers. So it really bothers me that 16 was perfect. It was perfect. If you want to go to, that's actually why I'm in favor of 18 games. It'll be an even number again. I think 18 with 2 bye weeks.
The talks about like the 2 bye weeks and then having Super Bowl on President's Day, so nobody has to go to work or school.
The next day, yeah. I think that 18 games makes a lot of sense. Leave it at 18. Quit moving it up every couple years. Leave it at 18 for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
But 2 bye weeks. Because I think 18 games is just too much.
Yeah, 2 bye weeks. For sure.
I think 2 bye weeks to give guys rest would be key. Would be really key there. And space out the bye weeks. Don't make it, the problem is football, it's hard to space out bye weeks because you have to have games every week.
It's not going to be like you have a bye week 7 and week 8. It'll be like week 7 and week 10 12. Or 11. Yeah.
I think they should put a rule you have to have at least 3 games in between the bye weeks.
Sure, I like that.
Just because you don't want teams to, be play 6 games, week 7 bye week, play 1 game, then week 9 bye week, then they play all those other games.
Yeah.
So you don't want almost a freaking full season, after their bye week. So you want to space them out a little bit. But Baltimore, so Saints are home, Baltimore is at home. The Baltimore being at home makes me more confident in a win.
Yes, but I'm also not going to be biased and weird. I'm going to say 2-1.
Well, and again, people need to know this about me. I always find the reason we can win the game.
Sure.
I never look for the reason why we can lose the game. So
I don't think there's a game that Cowboys can't win.
There's one that I'm going to immediately say loss, and we know which one that's going to be. But I'm looking at that number 8 right there.
But still, I think they can find a way to win that game. They just won't.
I think what will make that game, and I'm going to call it now. Today is May the 16th, and I'm calling it, for September the 22nd. The difference in that game will be Zimmer's run defense versus Quinn's run defense. That'll be the game.
Versus who?
Quinn's. How much better is Zimmer's run defense?
Oh.
Than Dan Quinn's. What do you mean?
Dan Quinn?
Yeah.
Wasn't he with Washington?
No, yeah, I know, but our run defense was awful last year.
Oh, you're saying comparison. I thought you were comparing the Cowboys to the Ravens.
No, let me rephrase. Under Dan Quinn, one of the major complaints for his defense always was we can't stop the run. Especially last year, it really showed up during parts of your...
Yeah, you're saying how can Zimmer's...
the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
How will Zimmer's run defense work as opposed to what we've seen under Dan Quinn?
Okay.
Because under Dan Quinn, I looked at that game and said, loss, immediately, because they're going to run the ball on us and we can't stop the run because stupid Dan Quinn wants to have defensive tackles that rush the passer instead of stop the freaking run.
Yeah. And now we got to worry about Lamar Jackson.
So now, and I think having faster linebackers, Maris Cleofau, who can chase down Lamar Jackson will be key.
Overshown.
So I think that Zimmer's run defense will be better, and I think that will be the key to that game. Will be his. Now I could be completely wrong coming into week 3, but I'm penciling it down that will be one of my key takeaways for that game. But right now I'm gonna say 2-1 because I have to give my team some losses.
Yeah,
and they're probably in my opinion they're the second best team on our schedule. Sorry, they're better than Detroit. They're the second best team on our schedule.
Sure.
Week 4 in New York, Thursday night football. It's a win. W. not worried.
I think when it comes to our division, I'm going to take both versus New York.
Yeah.
But I know we're a few weeks ahead, but I think I'm going to split with Washington.
You split that?
I think I'm going to split with Washington.
Well, we'll see how that works out, but I'm going week 4 in New York, win Thursday Night Football.
I'm with you.
Then we got week 5 in Pittsburgh for a Sunday night game. I can already hear the music, that glorious music that is Sunday Night Football against Pittsburgh. And that's going to be fun because they're going to show 800 highlights from the 70s because it's, the and the 90s Super Bowl that we won. So we need to play. I want to play. If I was old enough to drink or I'd buy alcohol, and I would play a drinking game. How many times they show the Lynn Swann catch, and how many times they show the Larry Brown interceptions. And I'll take a drink and I'll probably be drunk by halftime. But that one's a good game. But I just think that we're gonna feast on mediocre quarterback play from whoever's in there.
Yeah, whether it's Fields or Wilson or.
And I know that we're saying, you're like, well, didn't you guys campaign for Fields to win Chicago? Yes, I did. That's because he knew Chicago. Historically, quarterbacks moving to a different team just has never really worked.
At least in that first year.
At least in that first year, especially in that first year. Very few, like Drew Brees. Wow.
It's in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it'd be a closer game, but I just think they don't have the offense to compete with us.
It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh doesn't. Mike Tomlin doesn't get blown out. He knows how to stay in games. It's whether or not the Cowboys can keep their composure and be poised and win the game 21-17.
Yeah, it'll be a bit of an ugly win, but I think we'll win that game. Then we got Detroit at home, the rematch of that epic contest from last year, and the controversy.
Yeah.
Did he, who claimed they were eligible? Who claimed they weren't? What happened? I will freely admit I think the refs gave us one there.
Yes.
But it'll be the rematch, and that'll be it sucks because I like Detroit, and I feel like that they look at us as rivals now because of that moment. I'm like, well, no, we don't hate you guys. We feel like we stole one. Like, yeah, I didn't feel great after that win because I felt like we had stolen one, that we hadn't earned that win. We deserved to lose. But that will be a fun one. 3:25 on Fox in Dallas. Now, it's funny because remember last year we talked about the Fox broadcast, and even by like week 10, Olsen and Burkhart were saying it. Like, we feel like the personal Cowboys announcers because every week they're on Fox.
Yeah.
We get their games because it's America's Game of the Week. It's Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So we will see. That will be a good game. I am going to say, what do you think? Again, we're judging it before any injuries in camp and how guys look.
I'm going Detroit.
They got a really good offense in Goff, but the problem is that we have a new defense. So I don't know how our defense is going to look. In a Dan Quinn year, I'd probably say we lose. And that's not saying that Dan Quinn was really good for us, especially. But Dan Quinn's problem was if his defense doesn't get a lot of sacks and turnovers, his defense sucks. Yeah, that was kind of and looking back, I kind of realized that. Then again, coming off of Mike Nolan, anyone would have looked better. So could have been some of that, but they're going to be motivated to beat the crap out of us because of the game last year.
Yeah.
So
we didn't play good last year.
No, and again, it's all going to come down to how do we play the first 5 weeks of the season. Right now, I'd say it's going to be a loss, but I could easily pick that one as a win.
Yeah.
Coming that.
So
week.
what are we at right now? 5-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-2.
4-2. Okay.
4-2. Week 7 bye week.
Okay.
So we're off week of October 20th, and then we got week 8, San Francisco.
Don't even need to talk. 4-3.
And that one is a Sunday night football game.
Yay.
So we get our butts handed to us on prime time again by that team. And hopefully this team, maybe this team's different and they're the team that can beat them. But I'm not holding my breath.
No.
I'm saying the same thing I said last year. Nothing the Cowboys have done has shown me they can beat the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Now, maybe this is the year that we do it. But nothing that they have shown me has told me they can do it. And I said that last year, and we got
Sure.
our intestines removed from our butt and tied around our necks, and we were slung like the Hulk did to Loki in the Avengers movie by them. It was, it was bad, very bad. Sorry for when I gave that mental picture too. Loss.
4-3.
And that's it, and it's in San Francisco too.
Yeah.
Then we're in Atlanta. It's a win. I know they're a good team. And this is one of those classic Cowboy games that you look at and say, this should be a win, and you lose. Happens every year. So this could be we should win this game, but I think we're going to lose this game. I'm saying that now.
I'm with you on that, but
I'm going to say a win.
I'm going to give us the win.
But it's my sneaky, hey, watch out for that team.
Yep. Same here.
Then you got 2 more home games against Philadelphia on CBS. Oh, by the way, the Falcons game is Fox.
Okay.
Eagles game is a CBS game. So you get Nance and Romo for that one. And then you get Monday Night Football against the Texans. And so Eagles, I'm saying, is a win at home.
Yeah, it's going to be a split.
And same with the Texans.
Yeah.
People are going to say, wow, I think we'll beat them. I know that Micah and Stroud have been, kind of become buddies over the offseason, and it's going to be funny when he hits him. But
and then Diggs versus Diggs. Hopefully we can get it this year.
That will be we haven't seen it yet.
No.
And so I'm really excited to see Diggs versus Diggs finally in a real game, not the Pro Bowl. Although I wonder if Zimmer will actually do it. Or will Zimmer just be Oscar the Grouch about it? Like, no, we're going to match up.
I think he'll do it.
Jordan Lewis. Nashawn Wright will face Stephon Diggs just to spite him. Then we got in Washington.
I'm going to give us 2 wins too, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
So what, 7-3?
I think so.
Okay.
In Washington, Dan Quinn, hey, he knows things about Dak, right? He has the inside information. I think that Zimmer is going to wipe the floor with Cliff Kingsbury, and that's why I think we win.
That's fair. I just feel like, I know we're the better team than Washington, but now that they're, they got a lot of promise, right? They made a lot of good upgrades in the offseason, great draft.
And I'm going to say this,
coaching.
Though. Here's the problem. And I hope I'm wrong. Lord, do not let me be right here. I have a bad feeling that we won't see Jaden Daniels. And the reason will be that turf already tore something in his knee.
I hope not. But
I hope not. I'm just saying that I've seen this movie before. Get a quarterback that can run, and you put him on that freaking field, and is never the same.
Yeah.
It was who was a number 2 pick. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a factual thing that the field
is the Grim Reaper. It worries me that you're not going to see Jane Daniels much because of that.
Yeah. No, I hope. Yeah. Again, we hope not.
No, God, no.
But
love Jane Daniels. But
you know what? I'll give us the win.
Then we got New York here.
Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, that's a win. Thanksgiving game, we win Thanksgiving. I always wondered, did they try to give us maybe a bit of an easier game? They like to give us the Giants on Thanksgiving. And I've always wondered, is that because they want us to win because, you don't want the Cowboys to get, you're not going to put the Niners on Thanksgiving as just they may wallop us.
Right.
And you don't want your Thanksgiving media darling to get killed.
But who does Detroit have? You got to look at that. So.
Yeah, but we're the number 1. We get the primetime Thanksgiving
Yes,
slot.
but Detroit's also the other team that,
Detroit gets the game when you're making the food. We get the game when you're eating the food.
Yep. I love Thanksgiving, by the way. It's my favorite holiday. It's so awesome.
I like it. I like food, but
with family, waking up early. For my family, we run the turkey trot.
And you know what you just described? Christmas, waking up early with family. I like Christmas.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Christmas guy.
It's great.
No, what were you going to say? I've cut you off.
No, just waking up with the family, running, family from out of town. My family, everyone always comes, to Dallas, from whether it's our family in Chicago, Houston, wherever, right? And, run, go get Starbucks after, Einstein's, whatever it is, and come back and relax and watch the 11:30 a.m. football game. And then you got the Cowboys, and then you got a big dinner party, and it's a lot of food, a lot of good food, and then football and food. What else do you need?
Say you get together with your family. I don't really get together. It's just me and the family I live in my house with. But we don't get family that comes out from all over. They all kind of do their own thing.
Sure.
Now I may get in trouble with somebody. A
little bit of a tangent there, but it's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving has always been the one where I'm I get football, that's cool, and I get some food, but I look Christmas. I get food. I get food on Christmas too, so I like Christmas better. Then Monday Night Football against the Bengals. I like that it's not a Sunday. It's Sunday, then Thursday, and then not a stupid Thursday game. It's Sunday, Thursday, and Monday, so we get an extra day of rest.
Yeah.
Against the Bengals at home, we're gonna need that. I'm gonna say a win.
I'm gonna say win too.
Trying to find 5 losses here. Then we got the no. Panthers in Carolina, pencil in the win. On Fox, 12 o'clock. We'll probably get like the B crew. They're not going to give us Tom Brady for that game. Then Sunday Night Football again. The SNF crew loves us. We got Tampa Bay at home. Hey, look, they're a good team.
And they beat us on Sunday Night Football a lot.
But I think
we win that game.
Then we got Philadelphia in Philadelphia. I want to say loss just because I have to find some losses on this schedule. But I'm gonna switch something. I'm gonna switch the Texans game to a loss. And I'm gonna give the Eagles game a win. So I'm giving the Texans game a loss and the Eagles game in Philadelphia a win.
Wow.
Because you should have won last year, and you'll win it this year, finally. What are you saying for in Philadelphia?
I'm saying a loss.
And I'm saying we're going to beat the Commanders. We could lose that game because if we're already in the playoffs, they may not play their starters that game, right? But we'll see.
Yeah.
As it pertains to Washington. But I'll say win. So I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 3 losses. Okay, well, I have 3 losses going through the schedule, but looking at it, I could definitely see us losing to the Lions, to the Falcons, to the Texans, to the Eagles once. So maybe split Washington. So I think I'm going to say 12-5 and find me 2 more losses. I'm going to say 12-5 again. I mean, I'd feel.
Yeah, I mean,
if I'm picking the 5 games,
right now, I mean,
if I'm picking the 5 games we're going to lose, I'm going to pick Baltimore, the Lions, the Niners, the Texans, and the Bengals. Let's say for not going in the Eagles.
Sure.
But if we're going one of the Eagles games, then flip either Houston and Cincinnati to a win and give us one of the losses to Philadelphia. But because they're still a good team.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see. I feel good about the schedule. I feel good about this year's team. Obviously, I'm not going to say this is the year.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel confident in what Zimmer's going to bring to the defense in combating some of the modern offenses that we're going to face. We'll see. But I think it's going to be a good year. Hopefully, it's all going to come down to what we do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Literally, it's all going to come down to that. So we will talk to you guys not next week. We are both not available for an episode, but so I don't know when we're going to do another one, but it'll probably be at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I won't be available for that one, so it'll probably be 3 weeks till we get one in. So there'll be a lot of stuff to cover in that episode. We'll try to do our best.
Hopefully we're covering Mavs and Stars reach the finals, or Mavs reach the finals.
Would that
and Stars
be when the finals happen?
3 weeks?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be over, but
no, it'd be close.
Mavs, the finals start, NBA finals start June 6th.
Yeah, so that would be, because if you look at, bring out my handy.
Yeah, hopefully we're like, Rangers have turned things on. The Cowboys have signed every Pro Bowler in the NFL. And
if you look at the schedule, because June 5th, I guess I'm here for that day. It's got a Ranger game that day, so we'd have to get one in early. And the next one would be the 12th. So, there'd be a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
So
hopefully the Stars on the Stanley Cup. Hopefully the Mavs are in the finals next time we talk to you guys.
Yep. We are talking about
a lot of business left to do.
A lot of positive things. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Yep.